Leader, good to get your thoughts on all of this. You'll be disappointed, clearly. What's your message tonight to those people who perhaps are gathering outside the hotel, people in Epping who clearly feel angry and frustrated?
They should feel angry and frustrated because the simple fact is that our own British Human Rights Act, based on the European Convention of Human Rights, is solely responsible for this complete mess. And the Home Office lawyers deliberately argued yesterday that the rights of illegal asylum seekers is greater and more significant than the rights of the British people for safety of residents in and around Epping. That is the basis of this. And what the Home Office should be doing is what we announced earlier this week. They should be removing these people to detention centres in remote areas, away from local residents, whilst they rapidly process people and reject all of these illegal claims. That's what they should be doing. Instead, the judge has sided with the Home Office lawyers, and he has also, it's very important.
Yeah, but hang on a minute. Let me just push back.
You referred to the Conservative Council locally failed to respond to the planning requests of the hotel owners, and that's the reason that this hotel stayed open for as long as it is. So the Conservative Council bear a significant proportion of the blame, along with the Home Office. And it's
and I did put that. Yeah, I put that point to the council earlier on this evening. When it comes to the ECHR, Nigel Farage on X said that the government has used the ECHR, as you've said, but the judge made no mention of that whatsoever. No mention of the ECHR. He said it was about planning.
He didn't need to. He just had to. He didn't need to. He just had to.
If it's such a big deal, you'd think he would mention it.
No, because he just had to accept the argument of the Home Office lawyers, which was based around the requirement to essentially accommodate the human rights under the HRA, which is based on the ECHR, of the illegal asylum seekers. And so he's completely bought into the whole ECHR umbrella requirements that these people now benefit from. And those rights have been put ahead of the rights of British residents.
Well, what the judge said was that the High Court had put too much weight on local fears that migrants lead to more crime, and bowing to protests on planning decisions sets a dangerous precedent.
That's what we do in a democracy. You literally, part of a democracy is freedom of expression, the right to lawful, peaceful protest, and planning is always controversial. There's often planning protests. Local councillors take that into consideration. That's a normal part of the planning process. I've been in property and real estate for nearly 40 years. So the judge there, I'm afraid, is completely and utterly wrong. He's just caved in to the Home Office lawyers and used that as a bit of an excuse. And actually, I think it's right that concerns of local residents are taken into account.
What's your plan for deportation, especially when it comes to women and children? There was a lot of confusion about that earlier in the week.
There's no confusion whatsoever. We've got, give or take, 1 million people who are here illegally. The bulk of them are men. It will take a parliamentary term to process, identify and deport those. We'll start with the men. But the reality is you cannot be here illegally. And what we won't do is, in a sense, provide any form of encouragement or magnet-like factor for people to come here. And obviously,
where will you house them?
We will house people in detention centres, which we said earlier this week, in remote areas, away from residential areas, while people are rapidly processed. And we will have a range of options, from agreements with countries to go back to their country of origin. If not, then a range of other options. The failure of the
Albania was mentioned, wasn't it?
They just relied on Rwanda. But
Albania was mentioned.
Anybody who is here illegally should not expect to stay here permanently based on that illegality. That's the reality.
Albania, sorry to interrupt, we haven't got a huge amount of time, but Albania was mentioned, but the government there saying they won't go into any sort of deal like that.
And that's why you've got to negotiate with a range of different countries, with a range of different options and leverage, including, for example, sanctions if people won't take countries back, visa restrictions, closing embassies, all of these things. Many of these countries actually receive a lot of foreign aid from the UK. Well, there's a negotiation to be had there.
Negotiate with the Taliban? including negotiating with the Taliban?
Sometimes you have to do business with people that you may not get on with. If you want peace in Gaza, you've got to negotiate with Hamas. You want peace in Ukraine and a ceasefire in Ukraine, regrettably, we've got to negotiate with Putin. Those difficult things with people that we may not like are taking place as we speak.
Talking about people that you don't get on with, the Reform UK leader of Nottinghamshire County Council, Mick Barton, has banned councillors from speaking to journalists at a local newspaper, saying the party will not engage with any other media outlet. That's not good, is it, when it comes to freedom of speech?
I've literally spoke to the leader yesterday, and they're very happy to speak to people from the media. But if a certain media organisation distorts and completely acts in an irresponsible way, then equally they're entitled to say, we're going to talk to other parts of the media, not yourselves.
You can't, in a democracy, you can't pick and choose who you speak to and who you like and who you don't like.
Of course you can. That's the whole point of a democracy.
Press,
that's the whole point of a democracy. You pick and choose who you speak to, and sometimes you speak to friends, sometimes you don't. But it is equally a media organisation does have a responsibility also to present some things in a sensible way, presenting both sides of a debate or an argument. And that was the issue there.
So you want to be held to account, but only by people that you like and agree with?
We want to be held to account by people who are going to be rational, sensible, and not completely distorted and biased.
Do you think Nigel Farage will get involved in the row?
No, I'm not involved in the row. It's a local row, and I'm sure they'll sort it out at some point. But you know what? Sometimes you've got to say enough. We're done.
OK. On that note, we've run out of time.
We're done.
Richard Tice, thank you very much.
Thank you.